Peace and blessings, kings and queens. It's your boy Ayo, back with another video. And the topic of today's video is internal insecurities and trauma can ruin relationships. This is really like a follow-up because I really had more to say in the last video I made, but this is really like an addition to that video. So I ain't gonna make this video too long. It's probably gonna be like less than 10 minutes for sure. But like always, before I dive into this topic and like expand on the title, I want to ask that the Most High God guides my tongue and allows this message to reach the ears of those who are intended to hear it, and allows this video to reach the eyes of those who are intended to view this video. I also want to ask that the Most High. I just also want to just give praises to the Most High and thank God for today. You know what I'm saying, and for breathing, life into my body and creating me for my creation. I thank God for that, and also for allowing me to experience a new day, new opportunity, a new day full of possibilities of growth and learning and wisdom, and another day to spread love and help people, and just experience the joys, the highs and the lows of life, man. I'm just like appreciative of all that God has done for me. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. I hope everyone else is appreciative as well. Hope everyone's having a blessed and wonderful day. So yeah, without further ado, like I said, the topic of today's video is internal insecurities and internal drama can ruin relationships. So yeah, internal insecurities and trauma can ruin relationships. So like we all have experienced trauma, and we all suffer from insecurities to some degree, you feel me? Like as children, we probably had experienced a lot of traumatic things that we never really truly just resolved, because as children, we probably didn't know how to work through that trauma to resolve it. And a lot of times, because we never worked through that trauma, or we never learned how to, we carry that trauma and the effects of that trauma throughout our whole lives, and we don't really pay attention or realize how that trauma is affecting us each and every day. You feel me? Especially in the relationships that we form. For instance, like a lot of us have been hurt by people close to us growing up, and because of that, like we have trouble trusting people or allowing people to be close to us or letting people in. We have these barriers and these walls. Or like another thing we'll do if we experience that type of trauma is like we will self-sabotage relationships, because we don't really actually want people getting close, because to be vulnerable with someone else is scary, because we're afraid to actually be hurt again. These are all like signs of like, our inner child needing to be healed. You feel me? Those are the traumas from when we were children that we still carry to today. It takes like internal work, like I said in the last video, for us to like really self-examine ourselves and heal those traumas of our inner child, you feel me, that may have occurred years and years and years ago, but we just never really took the time to realize it, or took the time to like go back and heal ourselves from those traumas, those traumatic events. And a lot of us as well, we experience trauma that we don't even realize was trauma. You feel me? Like we just grew up in an environment that was so that was so traumatic, and like that was just the norm of the environment, that we didn't even realize we were experiencing trauma at the time. But it's still affecting us. And it's still affecting us in the relationships that we have to this day. You feel me? As an adult, it's up to us to like really self-evaluate and self-examine ourselves, and to go back, you know what I'm saying, and like really begin to reminisce on our childhood and just times throughout our lives, and just like really break down like how we felt as children. Because a lot of times, we as children, we were taught that certain things were normal, when really there was trauma. You feel me? We was taught to normalize trauma, and like be and to function as if like an environment that's traumatic to us is normal. So then, growing up, we kind of create traumatic environments because that's what we're used to. Like a lot of us, a lot of us feel comfortable in drama. And this is the reason why we like gossip, or we just always are around traumatic things. Like we create that type of environment because we've become so used to trauma. And this is the reason why like a lot of TV shows like Love and Hip Hop and these like reality TV shows, there's nothing but drama and trauma. They thrive so much because like we have learned, society has normalized trauma. Like we are being conditioned to be normalized to traumatic events. Like when they show a person being killed on national TV and they run that story on the news a million times, they are conditioning us to be to normalize trauma. It's called predictive programming. If you just show a person something constantly, they become desensitized to it, to the point where they feel like it's normal. Like you see a person get killed on TV over and over and over again, you begin to become desensitized to it, to the point where like it doesn't really alarm you anymore. Like, and that's unnatural because murder and death and all of these traumatic things that we have been taught to normalize, taught that it's normal, is not normal at all. It's actually like traumatic to us in our experience. And this is the reason why love is becoming more and more of a fantasy than a reality, because like love can exist in all of this traumatic and selfish and just in this toxic environment. You know what I'm saying? Like in today's society, it's even becoming a trend to be toxic. Like it's becoming a cool thing. Like people normalize sayings like demon time. Like people are normalizing the wicked and the traumatic events and the killing. And just the wickedness is becoming it's being normalized as if like that's the way life is supposed to be. There's a quote that says, there is no good measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Let me repeat that. It is no good measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. So it's like when we've become so normalized to trauma and just like evil, really, you know what I'm saying? To the point where like, if you don't want to be a part of that shit and you want to be righteous, or you want to walk down a different path, people begin to look at you like you're the one that's the problem, like you're the weird one. When really like, that's just a person who's choosing to walk a more righteous and positive path. Actually, in all actuality, the things that we have normalized is what's weird and what's the problem. Like, when is it cool to be on demon? Like, why is it cool to be a demon? Like, when has it ever been cool? Like, why is it that we glorifying lust over love? There's songs where people talk about fuck love, all lust. Like, there's songs where like people just are shitting on love, period. They're shitting on love. If love is canceled out of our society, then what happens to the children? Because children need love. What happens to marriages and relationships? Because children need to see their parents together in love. They need to see love in order to be able to hopefully one day obtain it themselves and raise and have love and continue to birth children who are raised in love. Like, if love is canceled out of our society, where do we go from there? What's the next steps? Because I don't want to see destruction from that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, love is becoming normal to us to say fuck love, get the bag, all lust, use people, cheat on people, wickedness, scamming, all of these evil things. Like, when does that become normal? And where does that lead you to? Because you ain't gonna last long like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never cool to counsel out love, man. It's crazy because I said this video gonna be less than 10 minutes, but shit, I got a little bit more. All right, let me go ahead and get with it though. So like, it's just important that we like really self-examine ourselves and like heal our inner traumas, heal our inner child, because a lot of the things that we suffer from as children, traumatic events, we carry them with us to this day. You know what I'm saying? It's also good to develop a healthy and secure attachment style. I'm gonna somewhere on this video, I'm gonna like add like the different attachment styles. I'm just gonna go over a couple of them real quick. So there's like 4 attachment styles that I'm gonna discuss. There's secure, which is the good one, and that's like being able to have healthy communication. That's having a healthy communication style with people, like being able to communicate effectively and healthily with other people. It's also being able to ask for help when you need it. You know what I'm saying? Be vulnerable in front of others. You know what I'm saying? And it also includes like being able to like self-regulate your emotions. Like, so that's the secure attachment style. That's where both parties are able to self-regulate their emotions. Both parties are whole and healed within themselves, and they can come together. They're not relying on the other for happiness or validation and shit like that. And that's another thing. We shouldn't be so caught up in seeking external validation, because that can be very, very destructive to your relationships. You become so reliant on others to validate you that you just go out of your way to gain validation from others outside of you. I see a lot of people do this, bro, and they fall so, like, you would be surprised how low people are willing to fall in order to be validated by others. This is exactly how pimps are able to control women. It's because they feed this woman validation, and then they slowly begin to take it away. And so like the woman says, hey, why isn't this person validating me anymore? So then she starts trying to go out of her way, do more and more and more and more things in order for that person to validate them as they once were before in the past. People know this, bro. It's like a fish, line, and hook, and then you reel them in. You cast it. You cast the fishing line with your validation, your compliments, your game, basically. And then when you stop it suddenly, that person's like, whoa, wait. You know what I'm saying? They're not stroking my ego. They're not stroking my ego no more. I'm not getting that boost of endorphins and dopamine from their compliments. You know what I'm saying? I need this because their validation has become like a drug to me. So this person stops. It's just like it's basically hooking a person on a drug. You're validate, like if a pimp validates a woman, you know what I'm saying? He's getting that woman hooked on the dopamine that she receives from those validation, that compliment. And then he stops one day, and now she's like wondering where those validations are, and she's fiending for a hit. So then she begins to go out of her way in order to get that validation again. And that's just the reeling in that the man or the pimp, you know what I'm saying, stops the validation on purpose, because he knows that the person is going to go out of their way in order to get it. Just like a dope fiend will go out of their way to get the next hit of dope. You know what I'm saying? But we need to cut that external validation shit, man. We need to be able to validate ourselves, be confident within ourselves. We don't need external validation. But the second attachment style is the anxious attachment style. You know what I'm saying? This is the clinginess, the fear of abandonment, the need for constant reassurance, and that's probably due to like a person being abandoned as a child, like their parents wasn't really like supportive of them, leaving them alone a lot, you know what I'm saying, or not validating them or giving them confidence, or, you know what I'm saying, just encouraging their child. Then there's also the avoidant attachment style, where it's like difficult, people have difficulty expressing emotions, they tend to emotionally withdraw from others, and they're unwilling to ask for help. And that's also can be a result of like being abandoned as a child, and always having to do for yourself, to the point where you feel like, well, I don't need nobody help, I got this on my own. I can't be vulnerable with nobody. I can't trust nobody because, like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody ever been there for me anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where that come from. And then there's the disorganized, where like it incorporates the characteristics of the anxious and the avoidance style. So it's like the fear of rejection, but like you're fearful of being rejected, but you also have problems with intimacy. You have like low self-worth, so you don't want to. It's like you want to be close to somebody, but you don't want to be too close. It's like a very unbalanced energy because like you know deep down you want this connection, but you don't know how to go about receiving it in a healthy way. But like I said, you know, the best attachment style is the secure attachment style, and that's to be secure within yourself. You know, you don't need external validation. Validate yourself. And also parents as children, I do understand as children, you know, children do need encouragement and to be shown love from their parents. So parents, man, if you have children, man, support those children, man. Encourage those children, love on those children, man. You never know who those children can grow up to become. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just never know. You could be creating the next serial killer or like the next Jesus. You feel me? But yeah, you know, I'm gonna leave these attachment styles somewhere on this video. That's all I really had. It's like a continuation from my last video when I talked about like doing inner work and how like inner work equals external growth. But the title of this video is, you know, internal insecurities and trauma can ruin and damage relationships, which it can. You know, all of us are dealing with internal traumas and insecurities in some form or fashion. And as an adult, it's up to us to like self-examine ourselves and heal from those traumas, so that we may move forward in life with developing more healthy relationships that are more prosperous and to our life. You know what I'm saying, in general. I love you all. I hope everybody like has a blessed, wonderful day. I hope y'all gained something from this video. I actually went over the 10 minutes significantly. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a lot to talk about. It'd be a lot, man. There's a lot going on in this world, but I am gonna try my best to like shorten the length of these videos because I know they be like, you know, they be long. But you know, it's packed with a lot though. So, you know, if you're willing to listen, man, you can gain something from it. And if you did gain something from it, man, leave a comment letting me know like what you think, what you might have gained. If you disagree, like anything, like I just appreciate your feedback. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. You know, also social currency, man. It don't cost nothing to subscribe, man. Just show your boy some love and some support. That's all I'm asking for. I love you all. I hope